Okay, so hey everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my first video and I'll be showing you how to make a resume using Figma. So let's get right to it. So Figma is a prototyping software basically, and it's used to create apps in Android, iOS. It's used to make website mockups. It's used to make posters, brochures, uh, content for web, etc. And can also be used to create illustrations. It's basically a compact version of maybe Photoshop and Illustrator, but not as much as the features. And it's more of a collaboration tool which is used for multiple teams to work together at the same time. Like imagine Google Docs where you're editing the same document at once, multiple people are editing it at once, but you can do the same thing in Figma, but you'll be designing something. So you can go to figma.com, log in with your Gmail ID or create an account, and you can just start with a new project. So I have a resume already built here. So there are two options for this. You can do this within your browser in the Figma client. I won't be doing that. I have installed the Figma Windows client on my laptop. You have it for both Windows and Mac, so we'll be working in that. But you don't need to do this. You can do it directly from your web browser too. Okay, so this is a project I have created called called resume. So this is the project which I've opened up over here. So this is what I have created as my resume, and today we'll be seeing how exactly to create this project, to create this resume. So I won't be typing out all the values from start. I'll just show you the working, and I'll just copy paste these values so we can save some time. So to get started, we need to create a frame, which is basically the background which is going to fit, on which we'll be building all these things. Let's consider it as a layer when you compare it with Photoshop maybe. Anyway, so to create a frame, go to the frame option here. Then from the right hand panel you can select paper, which will be A4 sheet, and you get a new frame here which is of the size A4. As you just saw, you have multiple new options to create different kinds of content, so we'll be going with an A4 sheet over here. So once that is done, what we need to do is add my name and my designation and my contact details that will be serving as the top part of our resume. So in order to do that, click on this button here, or just select T, click T on your keyboard to get a new text box. Draw a text box, or you may not have to draw it, just click on the screen, you'll get a text box right there. And I'll start with my name, and once that is done, we'll go to the font part. So the font selection is kind of important. It has to be a minimal font which will give things a beautiful fresh look. So I went with Manrope, which is one of my favorite fonts at the moment. And this whole document I've used only two fonts, which one is Manrope and the second one is Consulas. I guess it's pronounced that way. So Consulas and Manrope, and for the different variations I've used variations of Manrope, that is between the regular, medium, semi bold, etc. So for my name I'll be using bold, and we'll give it a size of maybe around uh, 35. Oh sorry, 35, yeah. And so we have that, so I'll just place it real quick over here. And next we'll come to the color selection part. Again, I'm mentioning, like, stick to maybe 2-3 colors at maximum. Don't fill it and make it fully colorful, because that will just make it look weird. So I'm going with a blue color over here. So it's because that I have this document right here. I can see these multiple colors available showing me my document colors, but that's not what we want. We'll be selecting a new color, so I guess we'll go with orange maybe. Yeah, this looks good. So let's stick to this orange color. And maybe before we get this far, what we have to do is give some uh, borders along this place. So in order to do that, what you can do is you can go to file view and you can enable rulers right here. In my case, it's I just disabled it. Or you can press shift R to enable the rulers. So once the rulers are in place, we'll place them around this to get a good count. So as you can see here, these values will show you how much of a distance you're taking. You can view it over here. So we are taking right now 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. We'll go up to 25 as a good header value. Okay, so we'll have 25 there, and we'll need 25 on the bottom too. So again we'll have 25. So for that we'll just count backwards. It's 842 here, so that'll go up to 816 to get 25. 818 actually. 870. So that's 25 at the bottom, and then we need on the sides. So again, from for that you get from 7, 8, 9, 10. You go up to 25, and at this end, so 595, 85, 75, 70. So you get 70. Yeah, perfect. Now that we have our borders, we'll go ahead with setting things up properly. So we'll just make this guy touch this box over here, make sure they're connected together, and once that is done, we have our name in place. So we're just going about this in a very ordered manner. The next thing I want is my tagline. So again, text box, and yeah, I'll just copy this, and yeah, I'll just enter that. In this case I have used Monroe only, but medium. This was bold. In this case I've used Monroe medium and a size of 16. So you can fix those kind of things by yourself. Once that is done, the next thing we have is this huge bar. So for this case, what I've done is I've used a plugin. So the plugin's name is Iconify. You can just go to manage plugins, and Iconify is right here, and it's already installed for me, but you guys can install it. And once you get back here, you can go ahead to get back here, you can go ahead and open the plugin from right here. So once you run Iconify, what we're going to do is we're going to select a few things. The first thing we want is the email. So select an icon from here, but make sure all the icons you select are like kind of similar to each other to maintain a uniformity. Then we have a phone, go with this. Then of course Behance, this one, and LinkedIn, go with this. Are we done? GitHub and GitHub. So we have all the icons we need. Just place these guys outside. So we have all the 5 icons. So I'll just get these specific vectors outside like this, and we'll just delete these frames. We don't need the frames. Just click the delete button and after selecting them. So now we have all of them selected here. We need to make them all the same size. So for that you go here, the width and height, click on constraint proportion so that they don't get changed, and give some value, maybe 15, and like all of them get resized uniformly. So now we have all of them here. Just get these guys and we'll take them in. Okay, so the first thing we have is the mail ID, and for that I'll make a new text box and I'll enter my email. Yeah, and I'll place it along with that. Then I'll just make it the center of this text, and we have that. Next thing we need is my phone number. So for that I'll just place this here on the same line, and instead of making a new text box, I'll just hold down the Alt button and make a copy of this, and then release your mouse and let go of Alt, and you'll have a new box in the same line. Click on this and we'll just make this my phone number. Now what we're going to do is we're going to group these guys together. So just right click and group selection, or you can just select this and hit Ctrl G and it will be a group here. So we have one group, second group, and similarly we'll be making 3, 4 and 5. So we'll have 5 groups together, and after that what we'll do is we'll group all these groups together. So 1, 2, and we'll group them together. So now this whole thing is one group. So as the final product, what you'll have is this guy right here. Yeah, so you can see I have a group called contact. I'll make it contact, and within contact you have mail, phone, LinkedIn, Behance, GitHub, and all of them are within one single group. You can like change the visibility. So that's that. So we'll place that right here. And once that is done, the next thing we need are to create these sections. This is kind of easy actually, because the first one is experience section. So we'll again create a new text box. I'll name it relevant experience, and I'll select the text. I'll make it bold, I guess, and I'll give it like 25. That's too big. Yeah, and I'll make the color as my previous selection, so it'll be right here, like that. So you can see the sky is how much, 15. So you'll have to like play around with the font size a bit to get the correct font size, but ultimately you'll be able to get something that matches everything together. So next thing we need is my tagline, so another text box, and within that text box I'll just type this content. So yeah, and for that I have given a size of 11, bold, and the spacing is at -1. That's not exactly necessary, but I guess I left it at -1 for some reason. So we have that, just put this here. And then we have the date at which this was done, so create another text box, type this data in, select all, make the font as console as regular 9, and just put them here, put that guy here too. So once you have that, these three are done, and now we need a description. So again, I'll just get this text, create a new text box, paste it, get it all sized up, manrope regular 9, and I'll place that guy here too. So now we have our graph, the full details there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to group these three guys together. This is like one single experience, so I'll group that together and I'll name it my experience at watched IT, and I'll make a copy of this full block. So I'll just make a copy of this full block, and I'll edit the text, I'll edit the text, so I can get what? I can get my second value. And then what I'll do is I'll combine these guys together. So this will be my watch ID, this will be my next one, freelancer. Basically you get the idea. So two boxes of two different experience and relevant experience as the title. So 1, 2, 3, we'll group these guys together. We'll call this entire group experience. So what do we have? We have an experience box right here, 1, 2, 3, and we have the contact box, and we have the name and these things. So I guess I'll combine these three guys together, and I'll call it overview, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, so you get it, just keep things organized. So for the next box here, education, all you have to do is create a copy of relevant experience, then edit these details, and you can edit it to match these things. Just double click, edit this text, edit this text, edit it, and change the details right here, and you'll have this thing right here. So in this case, as you can see, I have education in a box, and within that the heading, then education at watched, and then my education at my school. So all of them are grouped together to form separate boxes. And one thing I missed out here was the view portfolio button, which comes over here. So I'll just show you that too real quick. What you want to do is you need an arrow again, so we'll go to plugins, iconify. Let's take this guy, let's take him out, delete this, and this guy can be like 15. So so I'll just put him right here. And then what we need is rectangle tool. You can make all kinds of shapes. We'll use a rectangle tool. We'll just make a rectangle here. You'll create a new text box within this, and you'll type view portfolio at actually it's bit.ly, right? Sorry, they have a bitly extension too. Anyway, I'll just place this guy here, change my font Mongo, I'll change the size to medium, I'll change this to 1, 2, 3. And for this case, you click on the rectangle, you go to the corner radius value, and you give something like 5. and you get the corner radius is all set up for you. And what we need one more thing, which is the link icon. That too I have taken it from Iconify. Just type in link, and I believe I took this guy right here. This guy right here, I'm going to use here. I clicked on the color and I changed the color to this value because I placed him over here. So now he's behind it because the rectangle is on top and this is on bottom. So just pull it up and it comes above it. So we have that. Yeah, okay. So that's that. And if you really want to get things, you know, organized properly, what you gotta do is the vector, the rectangle, this, or you can just group it and name it portfolio link and take it inside the freelancer section. So now we have that, that, and that. So 1, 2, 3. So oh sorry, I got it wrong, didn't I? It's not this freelancer, it is within this guy. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so this guy becomes what? Education. I'm not going to edit all the text and show you, so you can just edit this box and like change all the text however you want. So then we have the achievements tab, which is again a same ripoff. So just make a copy of the education after you've made that, then edit this text. So you don't have to create all these layers again and again and again. Say volunteer experience, all these guys are just the text. So the only difference here is the text here, and I've added a slight different color over here. All the other things are pretty much the same. Then lead it and this color. All the other things are like the exact same things as the experience and all these parts. So you can just fill in those things and you'll get your uh, parts. Let's create a copy. We'll place them here. What happened? Yeah, you guys get the idea, right? But placing this can be quite tricky actually. So that's that. So once we're done with that, what we have is, well, something is missing here because the spacing is not quite right now. So I'll just move this guy up top. Oh, I'm guessing the portfolio shit is too big. So press on K. You have to activate K. That is the scale option, not the move option. Scale option. Just press the K button. Once you press the K button, this icon will go from V to K. Once you have that, just hold down Shift and resize it slowly, and then you can like just move these guys up. And I'm guessing that placement is also done properly. So just click this, and what you can do is like you have the selection, all the colors involved in the selection. Click on blue and select this, and only those values will change. And the next thing we have is the next section. So for that, what we'll do is we'll create a new line. We'll place it somewhere around here. So we have this text jumping out, so just click on this and change the tool back to V for that, and then just get the text there, right there. And just push these guys a little bit more down. 1, 2, 3. The portfolio link box should be a little more down. So that's that, and then just select education achievements and model experience list, and we have that. We'll fix the spacing properly. This will fix it later on. Next section we have are the skill section, which is very much similar to the education section. We'll just create a copy here, change this to skills, delete this guy, delete this entire block, and then That's another neat trick. You can just click on this to resize it to that correct size, and then just edit this in Figma, etc., etc. So rename this as design, and you have a design box here, skills here. Rename this whole thing as skills. So you have skills box properly done, and then just duplicate this guy, you know and what you get is different boxes, and then edit the text to match whatever you want. So ultimately you will get this whole box, which is skills, the heading, design tools with two text boxes, programming, etc. So we'll just take this guy right here, and we have that done. Just move it a little more. Yeah. Once that is done, sorry, once that is done, that is done. And then we have certifications and internships. So these two things are pretty much similar to this education tab, the date, these things. Just edit everything, just create a copy. The only difference is what happens is you have the link icon over here. So we already gave the link icon once here. So what I will do is click on link icon, make a duplicate of that, and add it. You get the idea, right? It's not rocket science. So like this becomes a certification ID, and you have like some value right there. So then the if you want to know how I did that, like how I just dragged the screen across like that, yeah, just click 2-3 times until you get it selected and place it properly. So you get the idea, right? And you need this guy where you need him inside your education ID box. So just take him from here and put it inside this box. So now we have all of them together, and yeah, that's that. So all these values will change to the name of your this thing. You'll change this, you'll change this, all these things you can change it, and ultimately what you'll have is the certification, red hat, all these values, etc. So you'll have a certification box right here. Within that you have the heading, the red hat, and then I made the link and the certification ID together under one single group. Then of course the name of the certification and the date of the certification. It all follows the same fonts that we have used before, consolas, etc. And all of them are perfectly placed together in one single box, which is the red hat box. Then next we have the cloud box, and we have the big data box, and all these three groups are placed together inside the certification box. So that's that. So we have that too done. So I'll just take this guy right there. And yeah, so you guys get the idea. And finally what we have here is internships, absolutely the same thing. And of course finally we have the interests box. In this case it's not much hard, it's not that hard. Just I've made a copy of this guy. We'll take him outside and renamed him to interests. Keep pressing enter for some reason. Then created a rectangle, and then a text box inside the rectangle, and like a bit semi bold, I guess. And I placed him here, and I matched him up to the size of our box. So the reason I'm doing this is to make it easier to resize it later on. And then I made this text centered and centered. Then I clicked on the rectangle and I made it kind of smaller. Don't click on the rectangle, just group them together. And once you group them together, when you resize that entire group, what happens is, you understand, it works like that. So just resize it as you want, move it here, then what do? We go right here and we make the 5 or something. I guess I'll make it white and I'll make this color black, something like that. Now we can just create copies, uh, create other copies, etc. And just edit this text to reading blah blah blah, etc, etc. Then you can just like group all these groups together. So yeah, this is the next part. So ultimately what we get is this guy right here, which is an interests box. I need to change the color. Yeah. Okay, so this is what we have. So this is our final. Now we need to fix this spacing. So I guess I'll give. What happened here? Oh yeah. So just make this box bigger. Yeah. This one too. When I resize it, I guess all the boxes are resized. Okay, just give a final verification. Now click on this guy and click on education. You can actually fix the sizing between them. So just make it 4 and we'll make it smaller. Achievements, make it 4. Achievements and volunteer experience is 15. Make it 4. And we have the underline problem fixed. Similarly, in this case, to skills and certifications, it's 14. So make it like 10 or something. Yep, voila. And maybe like add a date on which it was like finally added or something like that. Just add a date and we'll just place it over here, and voila, we have our resume ready. And of course finally my photograph, so I'll just take that and place it over here. All you have to do is drag and drop it from your folder, just pull it and put it here, and you'll have the photograph ready. So that's that. And we'll just group these final details to, we'll take it into, I don't know where, we'll take it into overview. Yep. And finally we have our tutorial ready with 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, these guys. Now to export this, is click on the resume box and just click over here and you'll get the export option right here. So click on export and you can export it as PDF file, export resume tutorial, and I'll just save it, and there we have it. Size of 2.58 MB, that's really low, I guess. You can make it lower maybe by, and there we have it. Perfect picture, perfect resume right there. And this is the depth and in which you can zoom in. So does that too. Now to make these links clickable, you can't do that within Figma, you have to use a third party. So what I recommend doing is going to a site that I use frequently, and links to PDF set star. So just click on set star. So what I use frequently, we can just upload this file here. Not get dropped properly. And once that is done, you will have the resume right here. So from here you can edit it. So just click on the links option right here. It's just loading. Okay, the links option right here. Draw a box around your email ID link, and you can link to an email address. So I have my links right here, so just take that and add it, and we're done with that. Next we have our phone number, which is, you need to give tel colon to make it work as a link on your phone. So next time when you click on it from your phone, it will open your app directly, your caller app. We have 3 other links, just give them here. And then in these cases too, your credential ID, I have a link icon, so just draw a box, link it to your website, the website which shows your certificates. Then, and I had one more link, so my portfolio link, just draw a huge box around that, and just link whatever your link is over there, and apply the changes, and just, you'll get it for downloading. So once it's downloaded, I'll show you my uh, sorry, I'll show you my final resume. So this is my final resume. In this case, what we have here is, see, I can click on this, and it will go to a new tab which shows mail to, and the thing that comes up, and we have my link here, open mail, open link. So what comes here is, you have a blank template with the email ID already pre-filled in, that is Hemajani. You can just type the subject and start typing, etc, etc. And so that's that. This is the end, I guess. Thank you for watching, thank you for supporting me. And this idea was actually, this theme was actually based on the resume I found online belonging to a lady called Brittany Chiang. She's a wonderful developer and designer. So this is her resume template. It's not a template, I just looked at her and took inspiration and developed my own. So I'll link her account too, so you guys can check her out too. So thank you for coming here today. Thank you, thanks a lot guys. Until I see you next time, bye.